Every person dreams of freedom, not just the freedom to move, but the freedom to choose to live life on their own terms. Yet for most people, that dream is quietly chained by one thing: money. Not because money is evil or holy, but because it is powerful. Can be a servant or a master. Can build your dreams or bury them. Financial independence is not merely about wealth. It's about who you become in the process of creating it. The journey of financial independence is not a chase for riches. It's a path of self-mastery. Because when you control your finances, you begin to control your time, your choices, and your destiny. The goal is not to just make money. The goal is to become the kind of person who can create, manage, and multiply money with wisdom and purpose. There's a story about a teacher who once said, "Set a goal to become a millionaire, not for the money, but for what it will make of you to achieve it." That is the essence of this lesson. Money is not the reward, growth is. And to reach that level of mastery, there are 5 unshakable pillars, 5 principles that hold the foundation of true financial independence. Each pillar represents a part of your character, your mindset, and your habits. Master these 5, and no matter what happens in the economy, in your career, or in your life, you will always find your way back to abundance. Discipline, the silent power behind success. Discipline is the first pillar, the root of every achievement. Without discipline, even the most talented person will fail. With it, even an ordinary person can build an extraordinary life. Discipline is not about punishment or restriction. It's about self-respect. It's the ability to tell yourself, "I will do what is necessary, even when I don't feel like it." Most people lose the financial game not because they lack opportunity, but because they lack consistency. They spend emotionally, save occasionally, and invest rarely. They drift between desires and regrets, hoping that luck will one day visit them. But the truth is, luck follows discipline. Every successful investor, entrepreneur, or professional you admire started by mastering small, boring disciplines, saving a fixed percentage every month, tracking expenses, saying no to unnecessary things, waking up early, reading, learning, planning, and adjusting. The wealthy don't act rich before they are rich, they act disciplined, and wealth follows. Discipline is not built overnight. It grows like a muscle through daily repetition. Every time you resist a useless purchase, every time you choose to invest instead of spend, every time you show up to work when you don't feel like it, you are strengthening the muscle that will one day hold the weight of financial freedom. Discipline is the bridge between wishing and having. Without it, dreams remain dreams. With it, even impossible goals become inevitable. Discipline, the silent power behind success. Discipline is the first pillar, the root of every achievement. Without discipline, even the most talented person will fail. With it, even an ordinary person can build an extraordinary life. Discipline is not about punishment or restriction. It's about self-respect. It's the ability to tell yourself, "I will do what is necessary, even when I don't feel like it." Most people lose the financial game not because they lack opportunity, but because they lack consistency. They spend emotionally, save occasionally, and invest rarely. They drift between desires and regrets, hoping that luck will one day visit them. But the truth is, luck follows discipline. Every successful investor, entrepreneur, or professional you admire started by mastering small, boring disciplines, saving a fixed percentage every month, tracking expenses, saying no to unnecessary things, waking up early, reading, learning, planning, and adjusting. The wealthy don't act rich before they are rich, they act disciplined, and wealth follows. Discipline is not built overnight. It grows like a muscle through daily repetition. Every time you resist a useless purchase, every time you choose to invest instead of spend, every time you show up to work when you don't feel like it, you are strengthening the muscle that will one day hold the weight of financial freedom. Discipline is the bridge between wishing and having. Without it, dreams remain dreams. With it, even impossible goals become inevitable. Discipline becomes inevitable success. Stage 2. Strategy. Create a path toward your goals. Once your vision is clear, you must design a strategy. This is where logic meets desire, where your dream begins to take form. Start by mapping your income, expenses, debts, and assets. Be brutally honest. Numbers don't lie, but they do tell stories. Stories of your habits, priorities, and decisions. Now ask, how can I make my money work for me instead of against me? A smart strategy includes budgeting. Assign every dollar a purpose. Every bit of income should be directed to savings, investments, necessities, and generosity. Emergency fund. Life will test you. Have a cushion that protects your progress. Debt management. Pay off high-interest debts first. They are silent thieves that delay your freedom. Investment plan. Let your money grow even while you sleep. Most importantly, review your plan regularly. A plan is not a prison. It's a living document that should evolve with your life. As your income, goals, and responsibilities change, so should your strategy. Remember, the goal is not perfection but progress. Even a rough plan is better than no plan at all. Stage 2. Strategy. Create a path toward your goals. Once your vision is clear, you must design a strategy. This is where logic meets desire, where your dream begins to take form. Start by mapping your income, expenses, debts, and assets. Be brutally honest. Numbers don't lie, but they do tell stories. Stories of your habits, priorities, and decisions. Now ask, how can I make my money work for me instead of against me? A smart strategy includes budgeting. Assign every dollar a purpose. Every bit of income should be directed to savings, investments, necessities, and generosity. Emergency fund. Life will test you. Have a cushion that protects your progress. Debt management. Pay off high-interest debts first. They are silent thieves that delay your freedom. Investment plan. Let your money grow even while you sleep. Most importantly, review your plan regularly. A plan is not a prison. It's a living document that should evolve with your life. As your income, goals, and responsibilities change, so should your strategy. Remember, the goal is not perfection but progress. Even a rough plan is better than no plan at all. Pillar 3. Knowledge, the mindset of the wealthy. Knowledge is the third pillar of financial independence, and perhaps the most transformative one. You can have discipline, you can have a plan, but without knowledge, you're navigating life with your eyes closed. You may be working hard, but in the wrong direction. You may be earning money, but losing it through poor decisions. Knowledge turns effort into power. It gives you the ability to make intelligent choices instead of emotional ones. The illusion of wealth. Many people think wealth is about having money, cars, houses, jewelry, luxury. But that is not wealth. That is spending. True wealth is not measured by what you buy. It is measured by what you understand. You can lose money and rebuild it if you have knowledge. But if you lose knowledge, even millions will eventually vanish. That's why history is filled with lottery winners and overnight celebrities who end up broke. Not because they didn't have money, but because they didn't have the mindset to manage it. They had the income, but not the insight. They had the cash, but not the comprehension. Money without knowledge is like fire without control. It burns everything it touches. Knowledge turns that fire into warmth, light, and growth. Learning is the new currency. In today's world, the true currency is not money. It's information. We live in an age where knowledge can multiply your income faster than any single investment. But you must be intentional about what you learn. Not all information is equal. The internet is full of noise. People shouting advice, opinions, and shortcuts. But wisdom requires discernment, the ability to separate noise from truth. So what kind of knowledge should you pursue? There are 3 essential types. Financial knowledge, learn how money works. Saving, investing, compounding, risk, taxation, and value creation. Understand how wealth grows, and you will never fear a financial crisis again. Professional knowledge, master your craft. Whether you are an employee, entrepreneur, or investor, become excellent at what you do. Money follows mastery. Personal knowledge, learn about yourself, your habits, emotions, and triggers. Most financial mistakes are emotional, not logical. If you understand your own psychology, you'll make wiser choices. The wealthiest people on earth are not those who work the hardest, but those who learn the fastest. They are always reading, listening, observing, adapting. Remember, education does not end when school ends. That's when it truly begins. The power of continuous learning. If you stop learning, your value stops growing. The world is changing every day. New technologies, new industries, new opportunities. The people who thrive are those who keep evolving with it. The difference between the rich and the poor is not luck, it's learning speed. The rich spend time learning how money works. The poor spend time working for money. You don't need a degree to become financially independent. You need a curious mind and a willingness to grow. Read books about finance, success, and mindset. Listen to mentors who have walked the path you want to walk. Ask questions. Observe patterns. Reflect on your own result. Knowledge in action. True knowledge is not just knowing what to do. It's doing it. You can read every book on investing and still be broke if you never act. You can attend every seminar and still struggle if you don't apply what you learn. Wisdom lives in application. It's better to apply one powerful principle consistently than to collect 1,000 untested ideas. Knowledge without action is potential wasted. But knowledge applied becomes transformation. Knowledge is the fire that fuels discipline and direction. It turns your plan into power, your work into wealth, and your effort into evolution. And once you combine knowledge with the next pillar, patience, you unlock the secret that separates the short-term dreamers from the long-term achievers. Pillar 4, patience, the art of long-term success. If discipline is the engine and planning is the map, then patience is the fuel that keeps you moving forward when the road gets long and lonely. Patience is not just waiting, it's trusting. It's the belief that your efforts, even if invisible today, are creating something powerful beneath the surface. In a world obsessed with speed, instant fame, overnight riches, viral success, patience has become rare. But the truth is timeless. Nothing truly great happens fast. The tallest trees grow the slowest. The strongest buildings take the longest to construct. And true financial independence takes years of quiet, consistent work. The myth of overnight success. We live in a culture that celebrates results, not process. We see someone drive a luxury car or own a business, and we think they got lucky. But what we don't see are the years of sacrifice, late nights, and repeated failures behind that success. Every overnight success is built on 1,000 days of unseen effort. Patience is what separates dreamers from doers. It's what keeps you investing when markets fall, learning when you feel stuck, and saving when others are spending. The impatient chase shortcuts, and shortcuts always cost more in the end. The patient understand that time multiplies value in money, relationships, and character. The law of the harvest. Patience is best understood through nature's law, the law of the harvest. You cannot plant a seed today and expect fruit tomorrow. First, the seed must take root, in darkness, in silence, and beneath the surface where no one can see it. That period of invisibility is when most people quit. They think nothing is happening, but in truth, that's when growth begins. Your financial journey is the same. You save, you invest, you build skills, and for a while nothing seems to change. But underneath, your habits are taking root. Your discipline is forming a foundation. Your mindset is aligning with success. Then suddenly, like spring after a long winter, the results begin to show. And the harvest always belongs to those who did not give up during the waiting season. The power of compounding. Patience is the heart of the most powerful force in finance. Compound growth. Albert Einstein once called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. He said, "Those who understand it, earn it. Those who don't, pay it." Compounding is simply the idea that small, consistent actions, given time, create enormous results. When you save or invest, your money begins to earn returns. Then, those returns start earning returns. At first, the growth is slow, almost invisible. But over time, it accelerates beyond imagination. The same rule applies to your habits, knowledge, and reputation. Every small improvement, every new skill, every act of integrity compounds with time. The impatient person quits before the curve takes off. The patient person keeps watering the seed until the forest grows. So be patient with your progress, because time is not your enemy. It's your greatest ally. Enduring the seasons. Every financial journey passes through seasons. Spring, summer, autumn, and winter. There will be seasons of growth, seasons of reward, and seasons of challenge. In spring, you plant with effort, hope, and uncertainty. In summer, you nurture, protecting your progress from distractions and doubt. In autumn, you harvest, reaping the results of your consistency. And in winter, you endure, waiting, learning, and preparing for the next cycle. Most people want to skip straight to autumn, to harvest, without planting or nurturing. But life doesn't work that way. Patience teaches you to embrace every season, not fight it, because each one has a purpose. Winter strengthens you. Spring teaches you faith. Summer tests your commitment. And autumn rewards your endurance. Emotional patience. Patience is not only financial, it's emotional. It's staying calm when things don't go as planned. It's trusting the process when fear whispers, "It's not working." It's holding your vision even when others laugh, doubt, or quit. Emotional patience is the true mark of maturity. Because success doesn't just test your wallet, it tests your will. Every person who builds wealth faces moments of doubt. when the market drops, when a business slows down, when unexpected bills arrive, when you question whether it's all worth it. But if you stay patient, focused, and faithful to your plan, those moments become your training ground. They build resilience, wisdom, and confidence, qualities far more valuable than money itself. Time rewards the faithful. The most successful people are not the smartest or the fastest. They are the most patient. They know that consistency beats intensity. They know that slow growth is real growth. And they trust that the seeds they sow today will bear fruit tomorrow. Your wealth journey is a marathon, not a sprint. The goal is not quick money, but lasting independence. So don't measure your progress by days or months. Measure it by discipline and direction. If you are saving, learning, and improving, then you are succeeding even if results haven't yet appeared. Patience transforms waiting into purposeful preparation. It teaches you that success doesn't come to those who rush. It comes to those who endure. Patience gives meaning to your discipline, power to your plan, and depth to your knowledge. But there's still one more pillar, the one that gives your success its soul. Because wealth without generosity is hollow. Money without meaning is empty. And that brings us to the final pillar of financial independence, generosity. The heart of true wealth. Pillar 5, generosity, the heart of true wealth. After all the saving, planning, learning, and waiting, there comes a realization that real wealth is not measured by what you keep, but by what you give. Generosity is not just an act of kindness, it is a philosophy of freedom. Because when you can give, you prove that money doesn't control you. When you hold too tightly, fear becomes your master. But when you open your hand, abundance begins to flow. The paradox of giving. Sounds strange at first. How can giving make you richer? But life has a rhythm, a cycle of flow. What flows out makes room for more to flow in. Water that stops moving begins to stink. Money that stops circulating loses its purpose. Generosity keeps the flow alive. In your life, your business, and your heart. The stingy person lives in fear, fear of losing, fear of lack, fear of tomorrow. But the generous person lives in confidence. They know that life rewards contribution. You see, money is a tool, not a treasure. Its purpose is to serve, not to rule. When you use money to help others, to create value, to build dreams, it stops being a number and starts becoming a legacy. Freedom through generosity. True financial independence isn't about never working again. It's about choosing how you work, why you work, and who you work for. Generosity gives that choice meaning. It frees you from greed. It frees you from the endless hunger for more. It frees you from comparison, from the race no one ever truly wins. When you give, you say to the world, I have enough. I am enough. And I will share what I've built. That is power, not power over people, but power over fear. Because the moment you can part with money willingly, money loses its power to control your peace. Giving builds gratitude. Generosity changes your vision. When you start giving even a small amount, something shifts inside you. You begin to notice how blessed you already are. You realize how much of your success came not just from effort, but from opportunity, from someone believing in you, teaching you, or giving you a chance. That awareness creates gratitude. And gratitude is another kind of wealth, one that can't be lost in a crash, stolen in a scam, or taxed by the government. Gratitude gives contentment. Contentment gives peace. And peace, that's real prosperity. Generosity multiplies influence. Generosity doesn't just create happiness. it creates influence. When you help others, you build trust. When you give opportunities, you create loyalty. When you support people's growth, you attract cooperation. The person who gives wisely becomes a center of value, and people naturally gather around value. Influence, in turn, brings opportunities that money alone could never buy: partnerships, networks, respect, and goodwill. So, generosity is not only spiritual, it's practical. It opens doors that selfishness keeps closed. Start small, but start now. Some people think, I'll give when I'm rich. But generosity is not about amount, it's about habit. If you can't give a little when you have little, you won't give much when you have much. Giving $1 out of $10 is the seed. Giving $100 out of $1,000 is the tree. Giving $10,000 out of $100,000 is the forest. The size doesn't matter, the spirit does. Because every act of giving trains your heart to live from abundance, not scarcity. So start where you are. Not tomorrow, not someday. Give now, a little, consistently, cheerfully. That habit will protect you from greed, keep you humble, and remind you of what really matters. The flow of contribution. Imagine a society where no one gives, no charity, no schools, no community centers, no help for the poor. That world would collapse not from lack of money, but from lack of heart. We depend on each other, our independence is interconnected. By giving, you strengthen the foundation of the very world you live in. And by strengthening the world, you strengthen yourself. Generosity is not losing, it's investing in humanity. And life always pays back those who invest in others. The circle completed. Now the 5 pillars stand complete. Discipline, the habit that keeps you steady. Planning, the map that gives direction. Knowledge, the light that reveals opportunity. Patience, the endurance that allows growth. Generosity, the balance that gives meaning. Together, they form the unshakable foundation of financial independence. Discipline builds strength. Planning gives order. Knowledge gives power. Patience gives time. Generosity gives soul. Without generosity, wealth becomes empty, a castle without life. But with it, your success becomes significant, a source of good that extends beyond yourself. Your turn, building the legacy. Now it's your choice. You can live by impulse, spending, drifting, surviving. Or you can live by principle, saving, planning, learning, waiting, and giving. You can chase comfort, or you can build freedom. You can live small, or you can live significant. Start today. Don't wait for perfect timing. There isn't one. Start small, stay consistent, and let these pillars hold up your life. Because in the end, financial independence isn't just about dollars. It's about dignity. It's about freedom. It's about the ability to say yes when you want to and no when you need to. It's the quiet power of knowing you've built something real, something solid, something yours. And when you reach that point, don't forget to share it. Because wealth shared is wealth multiplied. And in giving, you don't lose, you rise. Gemstone final words. Build your life on these 5 pillars. Live by discipline, guided by a plan, enlightened by knowledge, strengthened by patience, and fulfilled by generosity. Do this and you won't just have money, you'll have freedom, peace, and legacy.